You're watching News 4 at 5 in high definition.
Today marks the final day of the legislative session, and tonight lawmakers make important decisions about gun control and school funding. We have team coverage on the latest from Carson City.
Down! Fred, if you don't go down, we're gonna die!
And as the death toll rises in Oklahoma, one of the victims is identified as a UNR grad, plus incredible footage from Friday's deadly storm.
No, I'm never gonna quit. Never.
And a 10-year-old girl fights for her life after being denied a life-saving lung transplant. Why can't they give her the operation, and can anything be done? News 4 at 5 starts now.
And good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Just a few hours left now for this year's legislative session, and lawmakers have already today made some big decisions on some controversial issues.
Tonight we have team coverage on the latest from the legislature. Elias Johnson joins us in the studio with details on how the Assembly has approved medical marijuana dispensaries. In just a bit, he'll explain what this means for the Silver State. But first, we want to send it out to News 4's Samantha Boatman in Carson City, where the Assembly is currently discussing a bill that would require universal background checks when purchasing a concealed weapon. Samantha, what can you tell us? What happened today?
Good evening, Joe and Shelby. A lot happened today. A lot of lawmakers wondered if Senate Bill 221 would even make it out of the Senate. It did about 2 weeks ago down party lines 11-10. It then sat in Assembly Judiciary Committee for about 2 weeks. And around 11:30 today, it made it out of that committee 6-5. And just before 3 o'clock this afternoon, it was placed in the hands of the Assembly. Now, after about 20 minutes of lawmakers speaking for or against it, they voted SB 221, which would require a universal background check on most private gun sales, passed the Assembly 23-19. Now, it's important to point out in the Senate the vote came down party lines, but that wasn't the case in the Assembly. In fact, 4 Democrats voted against it. Some wondered if it would even go before the Assembly after Senator Justin Jones, the bill's sponsor, amended Senate Bill 38 to include the mental health aspect of the bill that was included in SB 221. Now, most lawmakers agreed on that part of it. Nevertheless, Senate Bill 221 still carried with it some controversy when it was introduced to the Assembly.
We also know that the people that were flown in here from outside interests probably would not have been helped by one of these background checks. I ask you to vote no on Senate Bill 221. I ask you to send the outside interest from Nevada a message, a strong message, that says, please don't interfere in our politics here.
But we can't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. By passing this bill, we will have taken an important step forward in engaging in a rational discussion of how to both protect our gun rights and the safety of our families and children.
Now, since no amendments were made to Senate Bill 221, it will go straight to Governor Sandoval's desk, but Governor Sandoval has said that he would veto it as written. So the fate of the bill now in the hands of Governor Sandoval. Will, of course, be covering the legislature in the last 7 hours throughout the night. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks, Sam. And thousands of Nevadans with medical marijuana cards could soon begin buying their medicine. That is, if Governor Brian Sandoval signs the controversial bill making it legal at a state level for dispensaries to open for business. Elias Johnson is here with more on that.
Yeah, Joe, Brian Sandoval, a very busy man right now. The bill passed the Assembly today down party lines, but Democrats were able to get a couple of those Republicans to come across the aisle when voting, and 28-14 it is on its way to the governor right now. Since 2000, Nevadans have been able to apply and obtain medical marijuana cards, but there hasn't been a legal way to get marijuana. SB 374 outlines the framework for dispensaries to open, the fees, the taxes, everything involved when exchanging pot for money. For the bill's sponsor, Senator Tick Seegerbloom of Las Vegas, today marks a milestone for medical patients. We also got his thoughts on if Governor Sandoval will sign the bill.
You know, there's 3,000 people that have cards. Those people are entitled to get their medicine, and until today they could not do that. He's publicly said that he supports the concept, and confidentially he's told people that he likes the bill, but we don't know until he signs it.
And we'll keep you posted on when and if that happens. There's also a warning from all lawmakers in Carson City on both sides that federal law still makes it illegal to purchase or sell marijuana, and those that do could be subject to prosecution, so something to keep in mind. We want to know tonight, should you make medical marijuana dispensaries, that is, available here in Nevada? 59% of you say yes, 41% say no. They don't like the idea. There's still plenty of time to participate. You'll find that poll on our homepage, mynews4.com. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, Elias. Well, the Nevada Senate has given final legislative approval to a bill allowing Washoe County commissioners to raise taxes for school maintenance. The bill gives county commissioners one-time authority to raise the sales and property tax rates, but a 2/3 vote is required. Backers of the bill say more than half of Washoe County schools are 30 years or older and are in dire need of repair. The bill now goes to Governor Brian Sandoval to sign. Well, some Washoe County school teachers are shouting foul play after they received only a portion of what they were expecting in an annual cash incentive for the school year. News 4's Alex Sachs met with one of those teachers and has the story all new at 5.
Elementary school special education teacher Wendy LeBon was expecting a check for about $2,500 by April. Instead, she got just a fraction of that, about $165 more than a month later.
I was completely shocked. Couldn't believe it.
LeBon isn't alone. Some 1,100 teachers in the Washoe County School District are a part of the Teachers Incentive Pay Program. They all get the same amount every year, and many, like LeBon, didn't see the cuts coming.
I have a lot of bills right now, especially my daughter was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes last year, and I needed to start paying off some of the medical bills.
The cash is an extra incentive given out to hard-to-fill positions in the school district annually. It's all a part of an education assembly bill that was passed back in 2007, called AB1. When it started, $3,500 was given out to each teacher in the program. So why was the amount so different this year? We went to the Washoe Education Association President Dana Galvin for the answers.
In the interim, the Finance Committee chose not to fund it. And that money comes from the general fund. It does not come from the distributive school account. It comes from the legislature.
LeBon says she wants to know why the district took so long to tell the teachers.
With the money that was left over, they prorated it. They made sure that everybody who is going to get money was going to get the same amount of money, and it just took longer.
Plus, Galvin says the teachers were warned. The 2007 agreement the teachers signed states the incentive may be prorated down to a lower amount contingent on available funding from the Nevada Department of Education. So there it is in black and white. But to LeBon, seeing the end statement is more than a dollar amount.
The morale is definitely going down. It just makes us think that we're even more worthless.
And according to Galvin, the cash incentives program is a part of the governor's budget. If it doesn't go through by the end of the session, the grant fund will go away.
The search for more victims continues from the latest round of tornadoes in the Oklahoma City area. The death toll across 3 states is now 23, and 16 of those deaths are in Oklahoma.
Down! Fred, if you don't go south, we're gonna die!
Those 2 storm chasers survived the storm without any injuries. Unfortunately, 3 others died in pursuit of a tornado. One of them was Carl Young, a UNR graduate. Weather Channel photographer Austin Anderson was part of another team caught up in the same violent system, and he says they could not have predicted the storm's path.
We realized that we weren't going to make it because the storm took a very quick left turn.
Anderson suffered several broken backbones, broken breastplate, that is, but he vows to keep at it. Meanwhile, at least 5 people are still missing, and many of them are people who were swept away by floodwaters when hiding out from Friday's tornado.